Alright guys, Carl, Daria, are we ready?
Yes, we are ready.
Let's go for it, please.
Eric, can you go forward? I will just start sharing Facebook Live.
So you want me to start on this one, yeah?
Yes.
Right. Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening, everyone. My name is Eric Tomaszewski. I'm the founder and managing director of Itoma. Basically, we build luxury property brands using our own property technology, combined with targeted public relations, marketing and advertising for off-plan and on-plan sales. But first of all, let me tell you this. Thank you very much for joining us here. The goal of this presentation really is gonna be eventually to present what we believe is one of the most promising solutions that help you actually communicate with your customers virtually without the need to visit the property. And so it's like a Zoom for property, we call it, because you can speak with the customer, present the property, and then take it from there in this virtual space. Now, starting with the agenda, obviously we're gonna start with the very short introduction of the whole business development team that is present here today from our side. Then we're gonna be looking what are the current problems based in property and real estate, and then specifically what we try to solve if it goes about this solution that we're gonna be presenting here today. Then we'll look, let's say, at the principle behind our solutions. So, virtual reality and interactive selector tool, which are the most, let's say, interactive ones, where you are not only presenting, but also, let's say, interacting with your customers through your sales marketing teams. Then we're gonna see, let's say, a couple of examples, and we're gonna finish it simply with Q&A sessions and a couple of words, what could be eventually a bit different about us versus anyone else on the market. So that's more or less the agenda. A bit of housekeeping. There is obviously a Q&A section, let's say, so you can put any sort of, let's say, comments or questions on the chat. You've got it basically in the top right corner. There's a small something like a message thing, so you can introduce yourself eventually, and we can take it actually from there. And then we're gonna review that at the very end of this presentation. Right, let's move on. Daria. Well, no, it starts with me actually. So again, as a managing director, I cover Europe and Middle East. And basically, that's where I have been working in the past life in the corporate environment. So that's exactly, and any sort of, let's say, inquiries from this territory are exactly with me. Carl, would you like to introduce yourself, please?
Absolutely. Thanks very much, Eric. Yes, so my name is Carl Marriott. I am UK and North America, actually. It's a bit of a running joke that I only speak English. So sadly, I can only deal with the English people, English speaking, whereas Eric, I know, speaks a lot of languages in Europe. So I've got a background in construction, in project management in construction. So I've been sort of around this thing for a long time. It's such a great product, this, and great set of solutions that you're going to see this afternoon. But so I had to get involved, basically. I'm going to pass over to young Jonathan, who is in Nigeria. I think, if he's there.
Thank you so much, Carl.
Good man.
Good morning, good afternoon, good evening to everyone that is joining us this afternoon to this webinar. My name is Jonathan Carlo, and I am the Business Development Manager for Itoma, representing the whole of African region, and I am based in Nigeria. You have got portfolio, or you want to do some direct investment from what we are going to introduce to you this afternoon, I am your contact person that you can really rely on, and then we'll take the issue up from there. I'll pass you again back to Daria, who is our anchor this afternoon. Daria.
Thank you so much, everyone, for the introduction. So good morning, afternoon, and evening to all the personnel according to region. First of all, namaste to all of you, and hope you are having a wonderful day, and we are here to try to make it a bit better. First of all, let me thank you for joining the webinar. I am Daria Patel. I'm a BITS Pilani pass out and have expertise in business development since then. And I'm looking after Asian and Australian market for Itoma Lux. So if you have any queries or questions from the mentioned region, I'm your guy. Thank you. Back to you, Eric.
Well, thank you very much, everyone, for the introduction. And again, at the end of this presentation, we'll try to unmute ourselves and eventually introduce whoever is going to be staying here with us, answer any questions, and so on, just to make it, let's say, more interactive. But first things first, let's say, what we're going to be presenting now is the big picture of the industry. Then we're going to move to the actual solution, and then we're going to finish exactly with the Q&A. So the big picture, starting, let's say, with the frame for everything we're going to be discussing here today. We've got two different types of properties and two different approaches, therefore, for sales and marketing. First one are off-plan properties, which are basically any units that haven't been built yet. And that means that we need to bring them closer to the customer who cannot visit them. So that's basically the first point of reference for today's webinar. Then the second one are on-plan properties. So the existing properties where, during normal times, of course, the customer can visit, can come, can see, can touch, and that means obviously a different approach if it goes about the sales and marketing than what we've got on the off-plan market. And again, we're going to be referring to these 2 points during this presentation. Let's move on, let's say, to the next slide, please. And the big picture is, let's say, looking at customer problems in property. First of all, we've got, let's say, property is traditionally very illiquid asset. So that means that there's a lot of cash tied up in property. And that's our starting point, that one of the, let's say, problems that we are challenging with the solutions we are introducing. Second point, again, the world is getting more and more global, but there is a disconnected customer base. As an example, India obviously is a country of 1.3 billion people, but there is also 36 million living abroad, so-called NRIs, non-resident Indians. And other countries, Bangladesh, for example, almost 600,000 people living just in UK. And this is again the global customer base that we try to target with the solutions. We are actually, let's say, connecting these people. And then the final, third problem that we want to be, let's say, targeting for today is lockdown, which means either no or limited property viewings. And we know, obviously, what has been happening over the last year, ladies and gentlemen, right? All of these troubles with lockdown, not being able to move from one place to the next one, and so on. And that's exactly where our solutions eventually fall into place for the right businesses. Right, so let's move on and let's focus on today's webinar. So moving from the big picture of property to today's solution that we're going to be presenting. First problem is you might have seen some sort of virtual tours, okay? Maybe some Metaport or other, let's say, equipment. But that means that you need to have a physical element into it. That also means that someone needs to actually travel to the property, make the whole video, post-process it, and so on. While with the solution we're going to be presenting here today, we are talking about no visit solution. First of all, we simply need some sort of a drawings, and we're going to be presenting exactly how we help some of the customers to deliver without any sort of physical equipment. So that's basically the first customer problem. Second of all, if you've got this physical equipment and physical visit, what does it mean? It means that you have to have actual property already built. So that means that this would be only for the on-plan properties. But with the solution that we're going to be focusing here on today, basically we can build it even a number of years before the actual property is built. So what does it mean for you and your business? That means that actually you can start selling and marketing 1, 2, 3, or 5 years ahead of schedule, giving you this necessary cash flow and presentation possibilities for your customers. So, and then the next thing, when you scan basically this property, Carl, if you can move to the next one, please. When you scan actual property, you see it exactly as it is. While with our solution, you can provide your customer with the customization and personalization options. Now, what does it mean for your business? Because that's the big frame we talk here about. That means that actually you can generate upsells in the first place. In the second place, you can sign off the project visually without, let's say, causing any sort of cost due to the errors and so on. So these are additional business opportunities to take from there. And then the final thing, and that's why we call it Zoom for Property, with the usual camera-led, let's say, virtual tours, you visit on your own. So basically, you just go to the website and you can see it. But really, it's not that everyone is looking at the same picture. With our properties, with our solution specifically, we are looking at the solution where everyone can join, like we are speaking here, almost 20 people from different parts of the world, and we can communicate, we can look at each other, we can, let's say, point to different elements in this virtual solution and take it actually from there. And that's exactly where your sales team can excel and take it to the next level. So these are the customer problems we want to be targeting and challenging with the solution we're going to be presenting here today. Right, let's move on to the next thing. So, for whom is this webinar? And that's almost the end of the big picture. And then we're moving, let's say, to the actual solution. So on the off-plan market, obviously we are dealing mostly with property developers, consultants, and architects. These are the main stakeholders that can find use of our solutions. And exactly, we've got different webinars for different, let's say, groups mentioned here, like architects is end of May and so on. Now, second one are real estate agents, brokers, and realtors. And what is happening here? We are dealing mostly with on-plan properties. So the ones where actually customer can visit, can, let's say, touch, feel physically. But again, real estate agents, brokers, and realtors can also specialize in the off-plan properties. And that's exactly where they connect both worlds of off-plan and on-plan. So these are our main customer segments and people that we are working with as a business, and for whom this and any other webinars and community events that we deliver are for. Now, our approach, if it goes about the sales, Carl, if you can see the next thing. So value that we deliver, and the main goal of exactly this solution that we're going to be looking here for and at, is we help you to increase business top line. That's exactly the goal of this sort of solution, to help you, let's say, sell as soon as possible. Second of all is early customer feedback. Is there interest? How can we increase this interest? What can we do to take it actually to the next level? And then the final thing, all of the solutions that we help our customers with are, let's say, global. So whether that's visualization or whether that's this virtual tool that we're going to be presenting here today, this Zoom for Property, this can be used and reused by your sales network. So say you are a property developer and you want to be working with a number of brokers, so you can give them access to these solutions, and then basically they can act as your sales network. And that's exactly what we want to be seeing. Now, the first example of the actual solutions, just to give you, let's say, the taste of what we are talking here about, these are the 4 most popular solutions in the industry, let's say. So what we've got here are exterior and interior animations at the top. You must have seen them practically with any sort of medium plus size development. Something that actually, brings the emotion into it and convince the customers that this is something I imagine myself living in. This is, let's say, this development that I really feel connected with emotionally and so on. But then what is more special and specific to what we are doing, if it goes about these basic solutions, are 4D animations, first of all. So you might have seen them perhaps in TV shows of a kind of $1 million homes, or perhaps extreme makeover, and any, let's say, multiple others in the TV. And that's exactly where we've been delivering these 4D visualizations. And then the final thing that we still haven't found anyone else doing that on the market are drone visualizations. So what we are talking here are obviously not only drone videos, because that can be done by multiple parties that have good quality drone and some qualifications. We are talking here about drone video, and on top of it, overlaid is, as you can see exactly now, how the site is built. What is gonna be here on this empty plot of land? What is gonna be the property that is gonna be finally developed? And these are the most basic, let's say, 4 solutions and the most popular currently in the market with us. So moving on, that's obviously something like a taste of what we are doing. But again, this webinar is gonna be, let's say, about something different, about our most promising, let's say, interactive solution that Daria is gonna be starting talking about after this slide. So now, final slide, let's say, and then I'm passing over to our friend Daria in India. Our approach, let's say, to sales, and how do we do basically? We look at the property sales process as a journey. So we start with awareness, how your customers can actually find you on the market, where they can, let's say, spot you when there is so much noise of the information from everywhere. So that's step 1. Then step 2, interest. What they can do when they land on your website, what can help exactly at this stage of the process. And that's exactly where this interactive selector tool and eventually, let's say, this virtual tour or Zoom for property fits in. That's where your customer can speak with your salesperson and take it eventually to the next level. Invite for a demo, invite, let's say, to the sales building and so on, to have actual person-to-person conversation. And then the next thing is consideration. And that's the big time that eventually your customer is gonna say, yes, I like what I see here. I imagine me and my family living here. Or I imagine myself investing into this property for rental purposes, yes, because that could be also very much financial decision. And that's exactly, what consists very briefly in 2 minutes, and how we are looking as a business at your sales customer journey for your properties, because it all needs to lead to a single point, to eventual, let's say, exchange of keys and business happening for you, yes, as real estate agent, property developer, or related, let's say, in the industry. And this, without further ado, completes, let's say, the big picture. Now we would like to invite Daria to actually present the solution for us.
Thank you so much, Eric, for briefly introducing about our values and our other solutions and all. So talking a brief more about our value. So we prepare all of these solutions based on the CAD or the PDF drawings that you have provided. And if you don't have that, we don't require that too. We can do it only on a simple sketch basis. And after we have built these solutions, this will help you with the property conceptualization. And because of the property conceptualization, it will help you in the planning application when you are preparing the site, as you can see in the next 2 icons, planning applications, and then in the site management. Talking about the site management, you would obviously be knowing about Bloomberg, the big news financial agency, right? So we developed their auditorium in London, and we made that 3D bird eye view, or we can say it as ISO view model for them. And they use this for their site management, the Bloomberg auditorium in London. Now, as this all our solution prepared online, this can be delivered anywhere in the world without the need to visit the property. And thus it will have the visibility of a property anywhere in the world. Due to the same, this will enable global remote property, sales and marketing, and these all solutions can be used for, let's say, investor presentation, other sectors. Now, our real estate market does come in the other sector. So if you look at the growth of the other sectors, that is real estate market, you see that the growth is much more greater than the creative economy. So hence the real estate technology, the Proptech solution in VR and AR is going to take the lead, and it is going to increase in the future. Now, moving to the next slide, there was an experiment that was done on nearly 1,300 people, and they were shown the virtual reality for the first time. Now, 65% of them were more interested in this kind of solution when viewing it normally. and other emotions range from amazed, excited, surprised, happy, and energetic. So these are the reactions that people received, or the whoever did the test received from the people. So you can connect more with your clientele, you can connect more with your customer base, and this can be a very good touch point to finally convert them from the consideration and interest part to the purchase part. Now coming to the main solution. So here is the guided virtual tour. So specifically nowadays, it's all about giving customer the extra touch, right? The better experience. And as I said, virtual reality is the answer. And a customer does not need any $1,500 glasses for it. All your valuable customer needs is an up-to-date mobile phone and a VR glass that costs between $55 to $30 that you can send to their home. And you can ask them to visit your website, and you will have the 3D image on your website which your customer will view and have a 3D user experience of your latest portfolio. And also we provide the customization option that you can see on the bottom right corner. Those are the different furnishing options that we have provided. And as we said that we can prepare these solutions even before the property is built. And you can provide them with different materials, furnishing, colors, designs, options, and generate upsell. Now moving on to the main aspect of the presentation, Zoom for property we call it. So moving on to the next slide, let's do a small exercise. So me and my team members will be joining a link. So I am myself located in Ahmedabad, India. Carl and Eric are in London, and Jonathan is in Africa. So we'll be joining this link. Also, the link is same for each and everyone. If you want to join, you can definitely join it. It's on the bottom of the screen.
So we can
Dario,
see.
I'm here.
Yeah. Okay. So I'll be right there. I guess you will be able to see Carl's screen.
And you can see Carl, as a matter of fact.
That's nice. Well, the page is loading. I'll be there soon.
And let's remember to switch
So,
the microphone off, let's say, on the actual presentation,
giving
because
brief
otherwise there's
about
going
the
to be
solution
feedback.
to each and everyone. So here, yes, we'll switch off the microphone over here.
Yeah.
So as you can see on the call screen, so it's actually you, your customers, your family, and friends can see the property together at the very same time as we from the different location are joining this presentation. And to make it simple and comparable, we basically call it Zoom for property, as everyone can be in the same place at the same time, speak, listen, and discuss about the property as you were in the real environment. And it has also video call availability that you can see on the call screen, where you can see their faces in the bots, which give lively feature to present the property. So if you look at the bots picture, I will just be there.
I'm also joining. Just
Come and join me.
Yes. Well, I turned off my microphone and video over here. I'm here. Well, here you can ask questions, answer them, and also point to the specific option. Can you see me?
Oh, Eric just joined.
okay.
That's nice.
So the last one is actually Daria.
Where did Jonathan go?
Yes, it's me. My camera is not on over here because my camera is on in the presentation. So a single laptop can't give access to two different cameras. So you might be able to see Eric's face, Jonathan's face, and I can see you right there.
Hey, Eric.
Hi there.
And Jonathan, are you there?
Yes, Jonathan is here.
There he is. That's from your phone.
So basically
That's
here,
close
as
enough,
you can
Eric.
see on the... Yes, hi.
Okay, so again, the main goal
So
here
here
is to
we can
actually...
view at different options, point at particular aspect. So you along with your customer can join this presentation. Yes, please go ahead, Eric.
Yeah, so again, the main point here is actually to, to feel like in the
Sorry,
actual
go ahead, go on.
property.
What you were saying?
Yes, so you can present
Okay.
various points to your customers.
So we can basically deliver this solution for both existing and under construction property. Eric, I guess you are breaking. Yes,
Well, maybe now it's gonna be better.
correct.
Sorry, guys. I think Eric's got a bit of a delay coming through from both.
So again, I've left this presentation simply to
Hope so.
hear me a bit better.
Yes.
But again, the goal here is to eventually present that to your customers as if you were the real estate agent, let's say, in the property. And obviously here we are on Google Meet. In the real life, it's a bit smoother, let's say, than what you can see here. So when you actually access this link, and again, we can organize the demo specifically for you. That's the main thing. You can view it together with your customers at the very same time, point to different elements and take it actually from there. And the point here is, so you would go room by room from one, let's say, element to the next one, describing the benefits, describing the value, describing the features, obviously, how many bedrooms, is it fit for the family, is it, let's say, a good investment opportunity, and so on. And then finally, let's say, one thing that we haven't mentioned, I think, or we haven't shown yet, is exactly what Cal is doing. So presenting these personalization options to the customer, because it's not only about presenting what is there at this very moment, it's also showing what you can achieve, let's say, for that customer. What are the options, let's say, for fit out? What are the options, let's say, for customization, personalization, and so on? So you can see each other, you can talk with each other, you can decide on options, you can sign them off, and so on. That's exactly the value that we want to deliver. And there are obviously other things that, could be, let's say, done and presented to your customers in virtual reality. So it's also a perfect solution for your customers to actually, let's say, take him to the sales office, invite him from this website, then take him from let's say, this website to your physical sales office by the development that might be built in a year, 2 or 5, and take it to the next level. Present it as this, extra experience to your customers. That's exactly, this feeling that we want your customers to eventually associate you with, the luxury. Right, I think that would be it from my side. Daria, would you like to take over for the rest of the presentation?
Yes, sure, yes. So basically, when it means that, as Eric mentioned, that we can present it anywhere in the world. And when it comes to sale, you look for something that can be delivered remotely, along with the extra return on investment that it can provide. So as you would have seen in the call screen, elements are changing dynamically. So you can discuss about the furniture and the interior requirements of the client, give options to your customer, and they can buy it and procure it much ahead of the time and sign off the project without any sort of misunderstanding, as everything is visual. So you can make a property walkthrough to anyone without going outside of your home. You can talk and see your potential customers and explain about the elements and the physical environment in the digital space. And third one is it's fully scalable. So you can deliver it anywhere in the world. And fourth, it also provides you the option to customize and personalize the environment to the customer. So it can lead to the upsell and better sign off of the project. And ask yourself, how much does it cost when your customers ask for one thing and want to change when they finally see it? And here you can get the visual confirmation and finally procure the project early and finalize the project. So that was all about our Zoom for property aspect. Now talking about more technological aspect, here we have a bit of stats on technology. So basically there are so many statistics on the screen. It generally says that if you do marketing via video on your website, on your articles, or on your social media platform, you get nearly 400% more inquiries than general about the video. And we have taken this to one more level and we call it interactive selector tool. So moving on to the next screen, we present you interactive selector tool. That is our one of the most promising solutions. Basically, it's a next generation property tool, not only for sales and marketing, but also for brand building. And you will be able to see the same in the current video. So here you can see a building in 3D where your customer can look at it from different angles. Your customer also has the option to select as per the preference. And these are the actual examples. You can agree with the customer, sign off and procure the project. Now this will help you with the return on investment that you will see in the ROI calculator presented in the further presentation by Carl. Now let's look at it from the different levels of the property. The first level, as you can see, is the gallery view, where you will be able to see the property in the simplest terms, that are images, visualization, CGIs and so on. The next level is surrounding. Here one can search for the specific requirements. Let's say that I am a family man. I want to see where I can send my children to school, the nearest shopping mart and so on. If I'm a couple, I can look around for the dining and entertainment options. We can customize and put these options according to your requirement to add to your property. Basically, this is an offline solution. You have to install it on your sales office, and then the clients can come and view at it. So you would be seeing it as a bit jittery on the current video, but it's quite smooth when you experience in the real time. Hence, you will be able to show the importance of the good location of the property through the surrounding view. Now, you don't want your customer to miss out on any amenities included in your development. So here, they can look for gym, swimming pool, parking, terrace, internal shopping malls, and other facilities you have to offer. Thus, your customers can identify the exact features and can have a better understanding of what you have to offer in a particular development. You have 700 units or 400 units housing, and you have different facilities in it. You can mention the same. Now let's say you want to purchase the shoes. What will you do? You will go to an online store, put filters of, let's say, size 11. I want Nike shoes, black in color, with a price range between $50 to $150, and select the best fit for you. Well, similarly, we have unit search feature where you can apply such filters in the real time in the 3D environment and find the best investment for your customer. For example, I as a customer want a 2 BHK and my budget is $300,000 and I want east facing apartments. Well, I can put these filters and see the available options in the visuals as per my requirement. It also has the added search filter of surface area, orientation, availability, and if you need any other customization apart from this, we can surely add to the tool. So these were basically 4 levels of our property that can give the added advantage and luxury brand exposure of your property. And I know, being the property developer and realtor, I believe timing is the biggest concern, even more than costing. Because if you are able to sell the property in this time, it won't be sell later. So what if this could help you sign off the project early? Thus your customer can take the virtual tour and you can generate extra commercialization and extra business out of it. So this solution will help you with customization, sign off and upsell. Now moving on from this was our most and the best 3 solutions that we presented to you. Now you would have questioned that how does it work for the guys at Itoma? So here we have got a sample process. The first step is a sort of a discovery call. We understand your requirement, the project brief, where you say that I have got a development of, let's say, 100 houses. I want a beautiful view from the top. Here are the cut drawings and I have got the rest, but it's still a concept. Then we say that we don't need anything else and we just need the cut drawings and just some of your imagination that you would like something like this. And we can just have a sketch and give us an idea. Now from the graph, we prepare a solution, we give to you for review. We are going to correct it. We will send you again. You will review it until the solution is finalized and you are satisfied. So we basically customize our solutions for every customer and we are very approachable. You can approach us at whenever you want. As everything can be discussed with us, then we can find a solution as per your need and provide a good quality product. And as we mentioned about the conceptualization, now we are going to present a customer example. Well, this is very good example depicting the same. Right, Eric? I guess
Yeah,
this is one of the
that's a
best
very
examples
good
to
example, as a
understand.
matter of fact. So again, that's the customer from Caribbean in Curacao, and that was the first meeting. What you, ladies and gentlemen, have got
Yes.
on the screen. Simply, this is my hotel. Here is the top view, more or less, on a literally on a piece of paper, on a tissue, we could say,
Yes.
as it appears in urban legend. On a tissue paper, we explain the project. But then, let's say, step by step, we
Yes.
started specifying. I wanted to look like that. I wanted, let's say, to look like this similar sort of project in this location, let's say, and so on. Exactly as you can see on the screen. And we arrived with this sort of design as the first output, plus this customer design, before architect even touched the project. And now, let's say, in a couple of seconds, we're going to see the final view of the project. And that's exactly the same process that we can be applying to every single solution you've seen today or on any other of our events. Yes? So the final project is now coming on the screen. So starting from this very rough drawing, we arrived exactly with this. One of basically the biggest project we delivered up to date. It's a hotel in the Caribbean islands. As you can see here, we've got visualizations, we had some CGI renders, as well as some, let's say, interior and exterior visualization, let's say, to present the depth of everything that customer wanted to convey to all local authorities for the permits, let's say for the planning permissions, then also for financing institution, because obviously someone needs to sponsor this large development, and then obviously eventually to present, let's say, to any other stakeholders that might be involved in the early stages of the project. And we've done it even before the architect has touched the site. And that's exactly the beauty and the value that we can eventually deliver for the customers. Hopefully that makes sense, but again, the thing is we can start without any sort of visit on very rough requirements and then specify it as we go along. Obviously, if we've got a CAD drawing already, that's the best scenario, because then we can really crack on. But otherwise, if our customers have got even a very rough idea, we can, let's say, take it from there to the next level and deliver what you can see here on the screen. And that's why we like presenting exactly this example, because it really, let's say, provides the depth of what can be achieved with the solutions that we build. Right, I think we've seen enough of this one. On the next slide, I think Carl is going to focus a bit more on the financial side. And by the way, thank you very much, Daria, for presenting everything before this thing, how we deliver. So hopefully that brings, let's say, something like a big picture. Let's take it from there. Let's look a bit at the money side, or as they say, or financial side. Carl, would you like to take over, please?
Eric. Yeah, thank you very much, Eric. Thanks, Daria. I was just actually showing just that last little bit because it just really just shows you, like,
Yeah,
hang on there again, just sort of the quality of something from nothing, effectively, wasn't it, from a sketch? So, and that's the reason why I sort of got involved with the company, because this is the sort of thing they can do. It's amazing. Anyway, my bit is to talk about the ROI, return on investment, which of course is very, very difficult to actually put an exact figure on. So I'm just going to sort of do a very basic cover of an idea of how it would make life a lot easier and give you that fantastic ROI. So effectively, we've got a development here, 30 properties on this development, and an average of about $300,000 each, 9 million GDV, gross development value. So it's a project worth $9 million, give or take. Let's just say that's the situation. So within that, you've already obviously got your marketing budget. You've already got some stuff. You've got to sell these things. So there's already a pot of money sat there to do that. The earlier we come in, the better that ROI is effectively. But just some basic numbers. Build cost with land, around about 6 million, 2/3 is roughly about correct. So let's say borrowing $5 million on finance at 10% over an 18-month build period. So again, this is, you've got your land, you've gone through planning, you've done all those bits and pieces. Hopefully we've, helped you with those. But even just from what we're talking about today to sell individual properties, obviously, the earlier the better. We've done most of the work already. It becomes easier at this point. But if not, just to do that, we're here. So $750,000 would be that interest payment. Now, if we look at what we do, let's just say we sold 5 properties ahead of time to speculators. Basically, virtually every project we know, the value goes up. So buying off plan is a little bit cheaper. The value goes up once they're actually built. So speculators will spend that and deposit about 20%. That's about average. So that's a 60K roughly for each property they buy. That's the first 5 bought off plan, completely not even started building yet. And then just say another 10 being built, during the build process. That's just even half the whole overall development, which I think would be much higher. But, let's keep it conservative for a minute. That's $900,000 in deposits paid early. And again, obviously the compounding of that, it's difficult to work out the exact numbers, but we're just doing some basics. Let's say that's approximately $100,000 in interest payments alone saved by paying that $900,000 back early, or not even borrowing it in the first place, some parts of it. So a definite saving. And our solutions, will not cost you $100,000, not for a site like that. Maybe for a massive hotel with a couple of hundred, we could be talking about $100,000 worth of work, but not for a development of property houses like this one. So, the money you could save is absolutely amazing. Sort of $20,000 could be a figure to work on this. That's a 5 times ROI. And that's just looking at alone at not interest payments. That's not covering, not having a fully developed show home, just a small unit for someone to come in by using VR. Extra staffing, again, you can pass this out to the marketing departments and the estate brokers, etc. earlier, much better. And again, any other marketing you've already produced, we're already producing it, so all those costs have disappeared. And very simply, we've got a couple of online calculators that you can put your numbers in yourself to sort of do that. But that's just an example showing you, how much this will, can save you and work. And it's just such an amazing situation. So do it. There you go. Eric, back to you.
Well, thank you, Carl. So again, one thing is obviously the value that you deliver for your customers in your business. Another thing is how that, what is the return on this investment? What are the elements of the value, as well as what is the business case for this? Hence, we presented that, and of course, we are happy to discuss this further at the demo. Right, the last section before Q&A, let's say, when we can unmute ourselves, let's say, maybe have some chat, any sort of questions you might have, is obviously what we are talking here if it goes about our business, because we can obviously deliver a number of solutions, but we've got obviously certain areas of focus. So the first one, the one that we covered partially today, focusing on 2 main solutions, so Zoom for Property and interactive Selector tool, is property technology. So any technology solutions combined with PR, marketing, and advertising that can help sell properties, both off-plan as well as on-plan. But then on top of that, we've got, let's say, 2 other pillars of our strategy where we help with the direct sales as potential, let's say, brokers, or let's say extension of your sales network in the business to take it eventually to the next level. And obviously, again, we've got here the focus on 2 different types of properties, one with guaranteed rental yield, and second one with good payment plans, which means usually monthly payment plans to help with the cash flow for potential investors or buyers of your properties. So that's the big picture. And again, these 2 other pillars are covered on another webinars, let's say, that we're going to mention in a couple of slides, let's say. So moving on from that, what are the USPs, let's say, and how we try to position ourselves? If you were, let's say, interested working with us, first of all, on the technology side, we try to position ourselves as A to Z supplier of quality, global, and scalable solutions. Okay, so again, it's not about focusing on you can get only visualization or only virtual tour. We try to provide the full spectrum and then pick against this customer buying process from awareness through interest, consideration, up to boom, the buying stage. So we select whatever is, let's say, necessary for your project. So that's basically point number 1 on the technology side. But then on the business side, basically we want to focus on the financial elements. So financial modeling specifically for these 2 different types of property investment deals, which brings us obviously brand and expertise to take it eventually to the next level. But I believe, let's say, the main point here is the connection between this, between technology and the business, because basically you can find some suppliers of the technology on the market, and they will provide you only with, say, animation of a specific type. Or you can find real estate agent which will cover only, let's say, specific area and so on. What we are trying to achieve and how we try to help is actually building this two-side relationship where we offer technology and at the same time we are the extension of your potential sales network. And that's exactly where we believe there is a difference in what we are doing, having this offer and take relationship to eventually take it to the next level and help with business. Now, taking it from there, let's say on the next slide, Carl, if you can move, I think, we covered everything. So now it's really the time for Q&A. And you can see here on the screen very briefly, let's say, our upcoming events. On 4th of May, we focus on technology, mostly for Onplan, targeting real estate agents and realtors. So again, you can subscribe, let's say, if you'd be interested. And hopefully you enjoyed this webinar, because we really try to prepare and bring some value, let's say, educate the market. What is available there and how can it help? What's the difference? Then on 11th of May, we bring a webinar on property deals with, these two different types that we specialize in. So that's with guaranteed rental yield and good payment plans, where we go through the process and couple of sample deals eventually to give an idea what we are interested in and how we can help. And then on 25th of May, we go, let's say, through specific solutions for architects, as again, a very important, but often, let's say, underappreciated element of the value chain in property. What's the beauty, let's say? Why does it catch the eye? Exactly this one. Like Burj Khalifa in Dubai. That's the first property that always comes to me, how architect has come up with that. Right, and I think this is the end of our session. Obviously, you can find us on social media, let's say as Itoma London, especially on YouTube, where you can see our portfolio of solutions, to give you an idea what we've been doing before, and some more examples on top of what we presented here today. And LinkedIn, please subscribe. We are always happy to have a chat. And I think, on behalf of the whole team, on the next slide, if you can just remind where we are coming from. So again, I cover Europe and Middle East. Guys, let's unmute. Let's have this, a chat part of it eventually. If anyone has any questions, that's the time. It's again a nice group of, I think, 13 people. So still staying. Obviously, we had, I think, 20 at the beginning. So, you can unmute yourself, tell us where you're coming from, who you are, and so on. But you guys, Carl, Daria, Jonathan?
Yeah.
Yes, they're here handling Asia and Australia, just for the reintroduction part.
I'm Carl, so basically UK, North America, but anywhere English speaking, anywhere else apart from that.
And I am Jonathan Carlo. I oversee the whole of African region.
Okay, so that's
Boom.
everything from us.
I'm going to come out of the presentation so I can see who's in.
Well, now please shoot us the questions that you have.
There are any. Again, we are happy to have a chat. This is more of the networking webinar. And actually, in like 10 minutes, we've got another, I think, global Proptech networking. So, it's a good introduction eventually. If you want to unmute yourself, tell us something about yourself and take it from there. I know Sophia is always brave. I can see she already unmuted.
Yeah. Maybe we'll look at them and invite one after.
Yes, everything.
If
Eric,
yes, Jonathan.
yes, I'm saying that we could invite them one after the other, like you have just finished with Sophia. We have Mohammed. We'll call him up to just introduce himself briefly with us, and then like that.
Absolutely. Mohammed, Deepak, Chirag, Doni, Danu. Mohammed, would you like to introduce yourself? Just briefly. Where are you coming from? Again, no pressure. We're gonna obviously follow up after this webinar, you know, with some
Bye.
recording and slides.
Yeah.
Sophia, please go ahead. What did you think of today, Sophie?
What? No, yes. I like it more, but okay, I will DM you, Eric, later on.
Okay.
I will send you a message.
Yeah.
Okay. I will send you a message. I don't know.
Yes, yes, no
Absolutely.
problem. That's totally
Obviously, we
fine.
are connected on LinkedIn, I
Yes.
think, with majority of people here.
Yes.
So, again, whether that's LinkedIn, WhatsApp, or
Yes.
email, we're
Exactly.
always happy to speak.
Yeah, you just realized that I follow your LinkedIn page. I know your LinkedIn's from Daria, so that's why. And you asked me, you just follow my LinkedIn page.
Yes.
I did before I know you. So because of I know Daria first time.
Thank you. Thank you so much, everyone. Thank you so
Thank you,
much.
Abdirami, let's say, for
Yeah.
joining
Thank
us.
you.
I can see you put the comment
Thank you so
here.
much, everyone.
Thank
Thank
you, everyone,
you.
and have a good day then. See you
Thank you.
hopefully on some other events. Thank you, Chirag. Absolutely,
Take
we're going to
care.
get in touch
Thanks,
with you,
everyone.
Chirag. Speak to you then. Thanks a lot.
Thank you so much, Mohammed, Chirag, Donny, Danu, Abirami. Thank you so much. We'll follow up with you later. And if you have any questions then, you can definitely ask. We'll be there to answer.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Thank you
Thank
all.
you.
Shall,
Bye-bye.
bye-bye.
Ciao. Namaste. Bye-bye.
Namaste,
Bye-bye.
exactly. Daria, you're famous.
Yeah.
Well, the Indian culture I have in me. Okay. Thank you all. Thank you, everybody.